Hey guys, I'm Callum. This is English Shooting. Welcome back to the channel. Let's get into the video. Practical shotgun, something that I spend a lot of my time doing and I like sharing on this channel, and continuously receive a lot of questions about people getting into the sport or maybe wanting to progress down their practical shotgun journey, and that usually ends up with you tinkering, upgrading, or just generally tarting out your shotgun. So we're going to do the top 5 must-have upgrades for your practical shotgun. So pretty much the most performance you're going to get out of your gun, the biggest difference you're going to see is underneath. This is the port. With practical shotgun, you're going to be loading quite a lot. There are a lot of targets. You're going to be starting the gun with 9 for a long stage, and we'll see up to 28 targets. So you're going to be using this port quite a lot. And a lot of the guns out of the box don't come ready to race. They don't come ready to go into a competition, or at least not comfortably. We've seen progression with the SP or even the speed, but even then there are modifications needed to make it lightning fast. This gun is built out of a standard Benelli field, and the port is incredibly narrow and quite tall to begin with. You can see the material that has been taken out, and this is actually considered quite a light cut. It's also been opened up internally, so we've got extra width there that allows you to get the cartridges in even further, and also there has been material removed so you can actually see the follower. This makes it incredibly easy to load, dual load, quad load, whatever your choice of poison. But the same principles are the same, is that you want to be able to get the cartridges in, but you also want to be able to ride your hand past that shell latch. So you can see there that because this material has been removed, that allows me to be able to flick the cartridge in there past that shell latch. What ends up happening without having this material removed, not only do you have a lot less space to operate in, you end up having to stick your thumb into the gun. It's not comfortable. You can usually get what they refer to as Benelli thumb with a Benelli shotgun, where your thumb ends up getting trapped in between the front of the receiver here and the latch. As you can see, with the material removed, I can get my thumb in and out of there no problem at all. But with the right port cut, you won't need to stick your thumb anywhere near it. You can just flick over the top. So an incredibly important modification. And I would say if you're going to get into competition, that's where you want to look first. Next, for me, is going to be at the very front of the gun with your extension tube. Now, a lot of guns will come with an extension tube as standard. Again, the likes of the SP, the Speed, the 1301, but annoyingly, a lot of them don't come with the capacity that we would usually expect or even recommend. So this gun is configured to be a 10+1. That means I can get 10 in the tube and then 1 in the chamber. Whilst in standard division, which is what this gun is used in, you only start with 9. Having that little extra bit of space in the tube just makes it easier to get those last rounds in, and also it means that I can load it up to that full 10 capacity within the tube if I need to during a stage. So a lot of people we see change their extension tubes. Maybe they want to even go further, because a lot of the standard capacity of extension tubes are going to be in a 9+1 configuration. A lot of people want that 10+1, but also another popular size is 12+1, which not a lot of guns, if any, come in that configuration out of standard. And if you want to go to modified, then you're going to want as long a tube as possible within the specified overall length. So getting it optimized in terms of capacity is a big draw for changing out the tube, but also there are upgrade components, just like the Magload carbon fiber tube. There are other tubes available that are lighter weight, but the Magload tube we believe is the lightest on the market. And that makes the biggest difference in the gun because it's so fast paced. You're swinging the gun and moving the gun very quickly, and any weight out the front of the gun is going to slow down. It's also going to carry momentum. So when you come to that target, if you've got a lot of weight out there with a steel tube, then when you come to stop, there's a danger of you over swinging. So removing that weight makes a big difference to the overall feel of the gun. And with the standard barrel clamps that a lot of these companies like Beretta, Benelli and Stoga supply, that's a lot of weight out front. They usually have steel tubes, again, much heavier. And in terms of barrel clamps, these don't need a barrel clamp. They flex and absorb impacts, and they are incredibly robust and strong. So keeping it as lightweight as possible out the front of the gun. We're then going to move back to the receiver for what I think will make the biggest difference next, and that is an enlarged charging handle. You're going to be manipulating this gun. You're going to be starting from empty chamber section 2, which has full magazine and an empty chamber, or even during malfunction clearing on a stage, you're going to want to be able to get onto the bolt quickly. So having an enlarged charging handle will make the difference. So you're able to manipulate the gun, get on it a lot easier, pull and move that bolt around. You don't want necessarily something as well that is big, heavy and clumpy. This is going to be doing a lot of moving. The heavier it is, the more likely it is to fatigue and snap off. That's why you want to look for as light a weight one as possible, but also something that is big for you to be able to get on there and manipulate. Next to that, again, all about the controls and the speed and ease of use, is an enlarged button. This will make a huge difference again for the empty chamber starts, be that the option 3 or option 2. Because with the standard field, the button is roughly the size of that pin, and when you're quickly trying to get onto it, it's easy to miss, and you can spend a lot of time faffing trying to locate it, trying to get on there and trying to press it. Here it's had a pretty serious modification. We've actually fitted the SP or speed latch into the field. This is hopefully a service that will be offered soon at Magload. You don't necessarily have to go as extreme as this. A lot of people will drill and tap the existing button and just put a standard oversized button on there. There is also the likes of the Redneck Tactical that slips under the fore end and covers the button, which gives a lot big surface. But with this button, you just basically have to look at it and the bolt is going to go forward, quick, easy, it's fast. You don't need to think about it. Next is sort of a 2-in-1, and that is going to be single round holders. So we've got here a shot saver and also an option 3 loader, the reflex option 3 loader. Both have very different jobs, but can be very important in their chosen situation. So the function of a shot saver is it's going to hold a round near to the chamber like this. This is an inert round before anybody says anything. And what it's intended for is to save your stage. Running dry on a practical shotgun stage can be absolutely disastrous. You are used to just loading the gun with one in the chamber. As soon as it becomes empty, it takes a lot more time to get one into the chamber, hit the button, and then go for your load. It's also quite typical that you end up running dry right at the end of a stage, usually right on the last target. So bringing the gun out of the shooting position onto your shoulder to then do a load is really, really wasteful. So having that cartridge there, you're able to, with your supportive hand, bring the cartridge in, get the chamber closed and take that last, hopefully, final shot. With a bit of practice, you can get very proficient, very quick with it, and sometimes it's only a second or two loss, whereas it can be a lot longer if you need to go for a full load. The next single round holder, the Reflex Option 3, that holds a shell right in front of the chamber. Now, this isn't intended to be there during the stage. This is for an Option 3 start. That's why it's called the Reflex Option 3 loader. The reason it's called Reflex is because it will self-close when you use it. So if the gun is completely empty, again, you want to get that chamber full as quickly as possible so that you can load it up into the tube. So you can start two hands on the gun, and as you press, the shell's going to go in, the Reflex Option 3 loader is going to close, and then you can close the bolt. So that is now flat, it's compact, it's out of the way. You've got that round in the chamber, you can then bring it up and start to load. There are other techniques to Option 3 starts. A lot of people, if you're not using a Option 3 loader, what they will do is a traditional load where you'll load it up with the bolt closed, and then as you bring the gun forward, you're going to flick the latch, you're going to pull the charging handle, again, why it would be important to have an enlarged charging handle, and then get on. Personally, I prefer the Reflex Option 3. You're not manipulating and pressing a lot of these controls. Trying to get onto that latch can be tricky in a fast-paced environment. So an Option 3, either the conventional that is Velcroed on, or the Reflex, which is permanently attached, is my choice of upgrade. So between the port job, the magazine tube, the charging handle, the enlarged button, and single round holders, I think those are your must-have upgrades. Yes, you can go further. You can start upgrading the follower, upgrade the trigger guard. You can have enlarged latch buttons. You can have enlarged safeties, improved triggers, carbon fiber forends, carbon fiber stocks. Really, the possibilities are endless, but those are the 5 that I think you really need to be competitive going in. Yes, everything else will help, but I think you will see the biggest benefits with those 5 modifications. If you have any further questions about this setup, any of the products, or anything else you might want to know about Practical Shotgun, then please use the comment section below. If you've enjoyed this video and found it useful, please hit that thumbs up button, and please consider subscribing for any future videos. And of course, as always, guys, I hope to see you soon.